Hello, my friends. This is Andy coming to you live from Orange County, California. I am the host for the California Parent Alliance podcast. Sorry about that. And the president, shockingly enough, of the California Parent Alliance. And got a couple things I want to talk to you about. And one of those things is an event we have coming up on March 14th at the Novo Cafe in Westlake Village. And here is the flyer. You'll be seeing this flyer around on our social media from time to time, but these are some of the great people that are going to be speaking at the event. I'm going to go through them in just a few minutes. I do want to read something else first, but we have a large number of people going to be there speaking about many subjects that we are going to be having to tackle as parents going into the next several years. This is not going to be over fast. I know that there's maybe some people that say, I'm just going to get the mask off my kids and then, then we're going to be good. No, because then we still have about 10 to 15, maybe 30 other issues that we have to make sure and correct in our schools, or else we will continue down the path that we have going on right now in our world. And especially this country, of course, I'm most concerned about this country, but what's happening around the world is going to affect us too in this country. And it all stems from a lack of education, a lack of proper, truthful, fact-based education. It leads to just about everything that's going wrong in our country today. We have very many people that are in a position of leadership who shouldn't be there. They're either uneducated on the subject matter. Now, they could be very smart people. I've talked about this before, that we have quite a few people that we have discovered lately in our world, whether it's our little circle of our community here, or friends or family, that we had some people in our friends and family circle that we thought were very smart, but have been proven to be very dumb on some issues, that they speak out on some issues that they should be talking about at all because they don't have the facts. We learned fairly early on when they were saying that when President Trump was, going through the election process and then became president, that he was a Russian spy, and that people were just copying or echoing or parroting what they heard on the news without actually knowing what they were talking about. We found out early on. The liberal media didn't find out early on, but they're just finding out now, is that was all made up and a lie. And so we can talk about many other issues that are going on in our world right now. And that happens. One of those things where we can see it happening real time is in our school boards. We have a number of people that are on our school board that have no business being on a school board. They are not educated in proper education. They are not educated in proper U.S. history. They're not educated in overall children's health and what's going on with our children. Masking being one of those things that they don't bother to read any of the reports or the scientific studies around the world that have shown, and we can look at Johns Hopkins here in our own country as a study that has shown that none of the things that they have been preaching about and have been bowing down to in regard to liberal media and the social media tyrants, saying that we have to lock down, that we have to wear masks, that we can't take certain drugs because they're going to kill you. That we have a number of people on a school board that believe all the nonsense and all the lies and have not looked at the studies, have not looked at the research. And so, let me take down this thing. Sorry about that. I left that up the whole time I was talking. But but I want to make sure that you see that flyer, that you're going to want to look at that flyer and know where it's going to be and who you're going to see speaking there. But we're going to be bringing up all these issues, and we're going to be talking about why, if we even get rid of one, say your thing is CRT, that once CRT is banned from your school district, you're not done. That once we get the masks off our kids, we're not done. We have a lot of other things that we're going to be addressing. And at the event on March 14th, we're going to be talking through much of those things and things that you need to be aware of as a parent. And we're also going to give you some strategies to fight against the things that are happening in your school district, to fight against those things that are happening in California. So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that. I'll talk about some of the speakers and what's happening. What I want to do is bring up some shenanigans that's happening here at the Placentia Urban School District. And that is the masking issue, right? We have our entire country, for the most part. There's maybe a couple of states that aren't doing this yet, but as far as I know, many states are getting rid of the mask mandates. That many have not had the mask mandates for over a year, and they seem to be doing fine. We have schools in the United States that have not had a mask mandate, and they're doing fine, and nothing has as a matter of fact, they're doing better than schools that have mask mandates. That even the infections and the deaths are fewer in those districts and cities and states where they have not had a mask mandate. Because again, as Johns Hopkins pointed out, is that any of those measures that you put in place did nothing to protect people from the virus. So what we have happening here in California is we have the mask mandates have been lifted everywhere except for our schools. And so we have Leander Blades, who is one of our school board members, who has asked for a special meeting regarding these mask mandates. And her and another school board member by the name of Sean Youngblood have been wanting to have a special meeting to address the mask mandates in the schools and to give parents a choice, give children a choice whether or not to wear a mask. And so I want to read something that Leander Blades just put out. It's really important. It's not just important for the Placentia Urbana School District people, but all your school district is what it is that you're fighting against and why it is that you need to show up to school board meetings, why it's important for you to continue the fight. Don't just get shut down and give up, but continue the fight. And here is what I'm going to read what Leandra put down. And I'm assuming that it's okay because I should have maybe texted her to make sure, but she put it on social media. So I'm assuming it's okay for me to read this. But in her post, it says, on February 2nd, 2022, during a special board meeting, I used a government code to request an emergency agenda item and resolution be placed on the agenda stating we will not remove students from the classroom based on a mask violation. Sean Youngblood voted with Leandra, with me, she says. But Freeman, Anderson, and Buck, which are the three other school board members, opposed to have the resolution placed on the agenda. Leander goes on to say, at the same meeting, I asked that the same agenda item be placed on the agenda for the February 8th meeting, which we just had, giving the board members approximately 6 days to read and research my resolution. Youngblood voted yes. Anderson, Buck, and Freeman voted no to this. So again, Youngblood and Leander Blades got outvoted by the school board. She goes on to write, I called for a special board meeting on February 17th. This is after the February 8th meeting, and assumingly did it behind the scenes via email or group call, where Leandra called for another meeting to talk about the mask mandates and enforcement rules. Her goal, Leandra's goal, was to stop removing students from the classroom and bring stability back into the schools. Seems reasonable. Youngblood voted yes, of course, to the board meeting. Anderson, Buck, and Freeman stated no to the special board meeting. I did not have a majority vote, so we cannot have a special board meeting to even discuss the daily issues plaguing the schools. I will continue to fight for the children and continue to fight the discriminatory treatment of the students. Every student, every day is how she ended her post on social media. And I gotta tell you that we are so fortunate that we did the right thing in 2020 when we voted in Leander Blades and Sean Youngblood. We had thought we had a third in this other person, Anderson, that she would, and she told us that she would be a representative of the constituents in the community. She is everything but a representative of the constituents in the community. She is the exact opposite of what she told us when we got her voted in. When we got her voted in, we had felt fairly strongly that we would have 3 board members that would listen to the constituency and vote accordingly to what it is that the parents in this community want. That we know our children more, we more know our children better than any other person on the school board or within the district or even the teachers. We know their health. We know what's important to them. We know what's important to us. And so we felt strongly that we had 3 people that understood what parents want in this community. again, what their constituents want. A representative of the constituents is to vote in line with the constituents, not based on some wokeness that they're seeing on social media, some misunderstandings and lies that they're hearing on certain news outlets. No, they are supposed to listen to this constituents and their community, much like Ron DeSantis does in Florida. He understands what his constituents wants, and he has policies that are in line with his constituency. Not Anderson. No, not Anderson. She decided that, well, I'm going to tell them one thing and I'm going to do the exact opposite. And that's pretty much what the left does anyway. So this is the problem. And the reason I wanted to read this to you and bring this up so that you, all of you that are not in our district, the Placentia Urban School District, this is the fight that we are in, that we do not stop when we only get two people of a FIDE board, a membership board are in, that we continue the fight until we get a representation of our constituents in our community when they're in there. And let me look at a couple of these comments that are coming in. Tammy says, Leander Blades is amazing. Awesome. And she says, also, keep up the great fight, Andy. And we are with you. Awesome. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. So with all that in mind, I want you to understand that we need to organize. We need to band together. I want you to feel strongly that the California Parent Alliance, which, again, I'm fortunate enough to be the president of, but I have a lot of faith that as we build an organization of parents, that doesn't mean you can't have your own local organization within your school district, because we have what is called chapters. And so we have the Yorba Linda chapter of the California Parent Alliance. We have the Simi Valley chapter of the California Parent Alliance, and so on and so forth. And so building up these smaller chapters to address what's happening in those specific communities is very important, so that we as an organization of the California Parent Alliance can take what it is that's important to all these districts and address them in our meetings that we will continue to have. Again, we have one coming up on March 14th. We have an online meeting coming up on Monday, February 28th. I did that out of order. So we have the online program, February 28th at 7 o'clock, where we're going to be talking about what the organization is going to do moving forward. And then we're going to talk about what our meeting is going to consist of on March 14th. And we are going to continue to have these meetings, not just in Westlake Village. We will bring another meeting here to Orange County and to San Diego County when necessary, and up in maybe the Bakersfield area, Northern California, as we have a need to do so. We will continue to do that. Our first meeting as a new board will be March 14th coming up. So I hope you understand my point here is that we're talking about this local thing that's occurring with Leandra and Youngblood trying to get a special meeting and simply can't get it done because they are being outvoted. This is why we need parent involvement. This is why we need you now looking at candidates for the 22 November elections that are going to be coming. Many school board members' terms are going to be up in this November election coming up. So you need to be looking now who it is that you are going to replace the tyrants with, replace the people that are not listening to the community. And we need to find those members now, and we need to focus. One last thing before I go on to our March 14th thing is that really important to understand that you may, so let's say that I wanted to run. And as I'm running, or as I'm letting people know that I want to run, I get presented with some thoughts that, we have this other person in the community who has a longer standing, for instance, who has been either a teacher or in the school district on some, and these are just examples, or maybe they've held office, on a conservative platform before, for instance, or maybe they're attorneys or what have you. We can look at a whole bunch of reasons why somebody may be a better candidate, but me, feeling strongly about my community, may have a very strong conviction, a strong desire to be on the school board. But if I see a candidate who, for whatever reason, has some very good strengths and a good support system, and I'm lacking maybe, or maybe have something in my background that is, a little wonky, because we all do, right? We're all sinners, and maybe there's something in our background that just is going to cause us some grief. And we will have a difficult time getting past that background, whatever it is, that maybe that other person is a better candidate, especially coming up in November. And to step aside, it would be my duty as a community member, as what I would hope to be a leader in the community, because again, I wanted to be selected to the school board, but also understanding that as that advocate person that I wanted to be, that instead of putting all my effort into myself and drawing away, maybe 10% of the community towards me, that instead I could back off, take that 10% of the community that was going to support me and put it in the efforts of the person who doesn't have something in their background, that doesn't um, lack a strength that the other person has. And understanding that this is important, that you have to put your ego aside. If it's you or a family member that you really think would do a really good job, but again, we have a larger community support for this other person, really important. Hold that ego. There's going to be another time. This isn't the only election. We have other elections that are going to be coming up, and in 2024, obviously, and so on and so forth. Somebody will want to step down, and then that will be your time to be in office. Right now, we can't play games with egos. We can't play games with, well, I want it, and I'm not going to back off because I want it, or I want my sister to have it because I love my sister and I want her to win. And so I'm not going to put any effort into this other person, even though that other person has more strengths and less skeletons in the closet. That's just the way things go. So I hope I didn't rant on too long about that. I just want to make it very clear that it's important for us to understand what the mission is. The mission is our children. The mission isn't Andy. The mission isn't Fred or Sally. The mission is our children and what is going to benefit us best moving forward. And it may be that I may have to put my ego aside or my thought that I would be a really good school board member in order to support a person who will get in there and defeat Buck and Freeman right now. We're going to defeat Anderson later on, but right now it's Freeman and Buck. And and that's in our school district. In your school district, you have your own Buck, and you have your own Freeman in your school district. And so you are going to make sure to put the best person up front. It may not be you. You may want to be the one who's running, but it may not be you. And so let's put the kids first. All right. So enough of that rant. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about what it is you need to do moving forward with the California Parent Alliance. Again, I'm not trying to replace any other organization or any other alliance or group of people that you have put together at your local coffee shop. This is just a support system. We think you should be a part of the California Parent Alliance so you can be part of a larger organization that will be doing some trainings and some teachings on how it is you can flip some of these things, flip a school board, ban CRT, get the masks and the mandates, the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates out of your school systems, that we're going to be working hard. And then you can take the information you're gaining from the California Parent Alliance and apply it within your local, coffee shop parent group that you've put together. We have a secretary, we have a treasurer, we have a legal counsel, we have board members, we have chapters, and we have everything in place that that will help some of you who want to build an organization but don't have necessarily the nonprofit status or any of these other things in place, and we do. All right. I don't know why this happens when I do this show. I get so excited, and I don't have my wife to allow my voice to rest. All right. So what you need to do first is you need to go to our website. So go to the website, californiaparalliance.org, and you're going to see this button right here on front. And what we need you to do, hold on, here we go. So this button right here where it says get involved. Now, of course, you can peruse the site and go around and look at everything that's on here that we have on there right now. This is a brand new website. It's changing almost daily with new information and whatnot. But the first thing you need to do is go to where it says this big square in the beginning where it says get involved, and you need to click on get involved, and it'll give you the step-by-step. I just saw that Steve, our treasurer, put this together with our web person and did a really good job. And these are the steps you need to take, and that is to get educated, and then go public, share with your parents and friends, and so on. It'll give you all the rundown there. Help California Parent Alliance grow and get bigger, and volunteer your time. Start your own chapter, or create a chapter with a group of parents so that you can have your own chapter of the California Parent Alliance. Donate would be awesome because these things do cost money and we want to be able to afford to do big things and have big rallies and big events for you guys. And the most important thing is here, submit an incident report, kind of like what I wrote, what I read from Leandra. These are things that we need to know that's happening. All right. So this would be really important for you to go to get started. After you've done that, or, it could actually be first, it doesn't matter to me, is you want to go down here to the section that says subscribe to our weekly newsletter. So make sure and fill out of this information. It's not going to be sold. We're not going to try to sell you Viagra or CBD or a vacuum cleaner. This is really so that you can stay up to date on what's happening in California, things that we're learning. Maybe we'll have a question, or maybe we'll have an event coming up that we want to notify you about. But you want to make sure and put your name and email address in here, and your school district and county, and what your key concerns are, whether it's CRT or also known as DEI, if it's mask mandates, it's whatever it is, bullying at the schools. Let us know down here what it is that's important to you, and make sure you fill that stuff in. All right. So you go to californiaparentalliance.org, and that's where you do that. And then before I get off here, I just want to share the flyer one more time to show you who's going to be speaking at least the March 14th event in Westlake Village. We have Amy Bowen, which is she's the president and co-founder of Protection of the Educational Rights of Kids. That's going to be awesome, which is also known as PERC. We have Alex Mayer. I was able to interview her on the podcast several months ago. She's the co-founder of the Children's Health Defense, which you'll also know as the Robert F. Kennedy organization. And Alex has some great information about vaccines and the vaccine mandates. The person I was just talking about and reading her post is Leandra Blades. She'll be there and joining us and talking about how important it is to, get conservatives, at least a conservative voice, onto the school board, and having somebody that represents the constituents. That's the most important thing. Remember, I was talking about Anderson, who we did get voted on, but she's not a representative of the constituents. We have Joelle Mancuso, who's the founder of Mama Bears, which is the CVUSD school board and advocate. We have Karen Mayer, who is the Conejo Valley school board advocate. We have Don Brute, who's a Simi Valley school board advocate. And we also have Jason Presley, Simi Valley, California Parent Alliance ambassador, and then some other dude down there named Andy Falco. He'll be there. At the event, we're going to be talking about school board strategies, protecting parental rights, new legislation that affects your child, breaking news on California COVID vaccine mandates for children in public schools, Meet the California Parent Alliance, and Children's Health Defense local chapter ambassadors. All very, very important things that you're going to want to make sure and be there if you can. Ooh, I did a little peekaboo thing there. Hold on. Let's get myself back up here. Hold on. Clicking through these things. Oops, got to get rid of this too. There we go. Let's see. Got a couple comments on there. Joseph says, thank you. You're very welcome, Joseph. Hey, Shar, nice to see you. All right. So again, that event is at Novo Cafe, a very nice restaurant there in Westlake Village. The owners, Massimo and Tina, husband and wife, they have been in the news a lot. You may have seen their fight with the Ventura County Department of Public Health in the city, where they have been fined hundreds of thousands of dollars. They've been, been threatened arrest, I believe. They've tried to shut down the restaurant for the last 2 years, and they just don't give in. They continue the fight. It's an amazing location. So you're going to want to go there and meet Massimo. He's an amazing man. Tina is amazing. And you're going to want to go there maybe just to meet them. We'll have a lot of people there. We'll have some signups. We'll have some very important information that you're going to want to get to be there. You're going to want to be there in order to get the information. Wow. One last thing. We have an event, like I said, an online event on Monday. In the description of this, wherever you're watching it, I'm broadcasting right now on 4 different Facebook pages. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble. And you can go to any of those platforms that you're on right now. Look down in the description, and you should see a link. There's a link that you'll want to click on that looks like a Zoom link or something like that. It's a very long link. You're going to click on that one. That will give you the ability to register for the Zoom call that we're doing on Monday so that you can learn more about us. And that just wanted to do this before the meeting on the 14th so you could get to know who the board members are and who the representatives are on the California Parent Alliance. I will be talking. We'll have the treasurer, Steve Coker, and Priscilla, who is our CPA, Hedia, who is our legal counsel, will be talking and letting you know just a little bit of our background so that you know who we are and what our plans are for the California Parent Alliance. We'll be talking about the event on March 14th. So you're going to want to be on there. It won't be that long, but it'll be at 7 o'clock on Monday, February 28th. You're going to want to make sure and click on that link to register so that you get the login information for the Zoom call. It's not going to be public because much like this broadcast, I'm assuming I've been suspended on YouTube because I talk about COVID issues, masking issues, and that kind of stuff. And the broadcasts get removed and people can't see them. So in order to make sure that people will see them that are interested in the California Parent Alliance, you're going to want to click on that link and register so that you can receive the links for the Zoom call. The March 14th event, you definitely want to show up, but I would also, before you show up, subscribe and let us know that you're going to be there through that little message part of the subscription. Just say, hey, I saw either the show today or I just heard about you from a social media post, and I will see you on Friday, or looking forward to see you on Friday. Or if you have any questions for us, give us any questions you may have there in that comment section when you're signing in and subscribing to our newsletter. All right. Hope all that made sense. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Again, don't worry, those of you in the Orange County area, we will be having an event, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't show up to the Westlake Village event. I know it's a long ways, but Leandra's going to be there. We're going to be doing something pretty special up there in Leandra's honor. So you're going to want to be there for that. And there you go. All right, my friends, love you guys. Thank you for showing up and commenting, Shar and Joseph and Tammy. I appreciate it. And have a great Saturday. And I will see you on the next show or on March 14th at Novo Cafe. Talk to you later. Take care. Bye.